What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I have yet to decide on a fourth cryptocurrency for review. I guess we'll do that in today's video. Otherwise, we will be looking at the current coin market cap as well as a video kind of skimming through, talking about people will choose a currency that the government can't control, pro-Bitcoin CNBC. So very interesting video, but otherwise we will be going into the possibilities of where the currencies and the cryptos can go today. We're starting to see the consolidation across the board. We're starting to figure out where exactly we can head down to or head up to. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So guys, before I make any sort of claim in regards to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in specific, I want to first get some general, analysis from the current coin market cap. I think this is quite important. So looking at the market cap, you'll notice that volume is slowly trickling back up. Bitcoin dominance is fairly low, back where it was the past couple of days, and market volume, or market cap, has been pretty much diminished as towards where all the cryptos are for the most part. We're very low. One thing to take into consideration, it's wild, when Bitcoin did decide to break extremely bearish, it literally took all the cryptos with it, and you'll notice that every crypto had the same exact pattern of movement on the top 10, cryptocurrencies. You can see everything trades out sideways like this, and we don't see much, patterns going off the beaten route or beaten path. You can see everything is pretty much synced up and in line with Bitcoin in specific, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely nice to see that we're seeing these cryptos move at the way they're moving. But as I scroll down, you notice majority of the markets are consolidating. We're seeing that market move back up. As we know, when coins start to sideways move, usually an indicator that not only do we hit some sort of bottom or some sort of support resistance, but it also indicates that we're going to see some sort of volume moves up to higher levels. Now, for those of you who are aware, there is obviously CNBC television, very, 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 mainstream media that everybody likes to see. And this pretty much talks about, Bitcoin's fall. And it talks about what exactly could have led to Bitcoin's fall and then as to where it could be potentially moving in the future. And I don't know how people get away with showing videos like this. I always get flagged for copyright every time I show videos like this, but I think I can just skim through it and show you, through this way what exactly they're talking about. So they're talking about Bitcoin's fall. They're showing what the history was prior to it dropping, and they're going into specifics, really telling people about where the Bitcoin price can go in the future. And a lot of people are pro Bitcoin, even with the small retracement that we've seen. They're very bullish on it in the long term as towards moving up to higher levels in the future. So I mean, it's definitely a great video to watch. If you have time, definitely check it out. But they're really going into specifics on this coin for the most part in regards to where they're seeing crypto move. And they do blame it slightly on Bitcoin futures expiring. The CME in regards to them just expired, and like last time, the crypto took a dip prior to it coming out. So it seems like that's a pattern, but at the same time, we do use technical analysis to basically track where we're looking for a breakdown to happen. So they're pretty much seeing they're also regarding other current cryptocurrencies going into a digital aspect of things, and everything pretty much becomes some sort of digital methodology. You can see that we're using Apple Pay, we're using credit cards, we're using Venmo, so we're not actually using tangible cash anymore. Everything is becoming an online evaluation, which is definitely really cool. But otherwise, I do want to just jump into the current technical analysis, the current markets, see what exactly we're looking at, what exactly we're trying to avoid. Now, I know a lot of people use like Fibonacci, and I don't mind it, but I've been always trying to figure out how to get the Fibonacci to come up looking like how I want it to look on here, and I think this might be it. Yeah, this is it. So this is what I want to use now. For those of you who like to use technical analysis, who have issues with me using only specific chartings and specific ways to graph the market. And that's only because I find it useful, and I think I can gain enough knowledge just with that alone. But some people, on the other hand, like to see the other charts here and the other ways of technical analysis. So we're going to start to use Fibonacci, which I think is quite useful. More so on the daily, or sorry, on the weekly, I want to show you what exactly is going on. So when we look at things on the weekly Fibonacci scale, you'll notice a couple of interesting patterns. Fibonacci is telling us that we were going to break down to levels as low as where we are now, due to the fact that we were so extremely overbought. Not only this, but we're also using the high-low middle moving average, which is kind of intertwined in here. I might have to change these colors to make it a little bit easier for you to view, but when I highlight them like this, you can see the little notches on each as we get closer. So they're definitely right dead center in the middle here, and we're starting to retrace back down. So for those of you to call the Fibonacci retracement down to around here where the price is, that was a great call. And we do look great right now, trading at 50 on the RSI. So there's plenty of movement upwards that we can have. My main concern is the fact that we're still above the high-low MMA, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I do think we need to retrace back down to it and at least retest it, and I'll show you that right here. So you can see these are the two lines of support. These are the lines that kind of cut through the current price and pretty much show where the price likes to move down to retest before it eventually either breaks up or breaks down. So the fact that we're still above here does give me some concern that we may see more retracement in the long term side of things. But when you throw on the Fibonacci charts too, you'll notice that we're already inside of it and we're already playing around and retesting it. And if you wanted to look at the past and see how it also reacts with the Fibonacci right here, you'll notice it doesn't look too bad. We have a lot of times we're trading in between here, and we usually come down to the middle. The middle seems to be where it's trading neutral, right at this blue band right here that cuts through. You can see the blue band does act as this middle portion. So the middle portion, this blue band, is also right where the high-low middle moving average is. To mark that out for you, the blue band is right here. And if we get rid of the Fibonacci, you'll see the red band is also right there. So this pretty much shows the middle on the chart. So long term, the long term side of things, I do think with the Fibonacci too, as well as with the high-low MMA, we're going to come back down to retest around $7,200. I don't want to be bearish, but long term, that's where I think the coins are going to go down to. Otherwise, when we look at things on Bitcoin's price on the week, on the daily, we look great. I mean, in regards to us moving up, we look great. Us moving up to $9,800 in regards to the weekly would be about where we started the breakout to. So that would be a huge jump. Now, there really isn't much resistance jumping up to $9,800, so it looks like it is definitely something that is still plausible and still possible. It's definitely we're in a weird case right now. We don't have much lower to go long term, but we have everything riding on us to head back up higher in the short term of things, due to the fact that we're below the high-low MMA, the Fibonacci, oversold on the RSI. Tons of indicators short term showing that we may branch back up soon and retrace back up to at least $9,400. Extremely oversold on the RSI, 24, 21. We're looking to head up, so that may actually start to happen soon. And we may start to see this within the all the other altcoins too. So to add on the Fibonacci to, here it is, onto Litecoin. Litecoin gives us a different, scale of things. I'd like to see how it plays out on the weekly. Yeah, very weird. We ended up retesting about the middle on the high-low MMA and the middle of the Fibonacci levels before we started to see resistance, and we, backed down from that. It's just beautiful to see that what we thought when we broke through the downtrend of this downwards channel right here, we actually are now back at it. So we broke out, traded sideways, and you can see we fell right back down to here too. A lot of people use TD sequential. I might use that. It's just another way of charting and figuring things out. Not a huge fan of it, very hard to read and follow, but we don't look bad on Litecoin. The only thing that's giving me some concern is this zero, volume trading sideways. We are flatlined out on the oversold line, flatlined out in terms of price. It is a good indicator that movements are coming. So with that being said, we may see a possible break to the upside. I don't want to, spread any FUD or spread any, perma-bull outlooks, but with the fact that we're seeing this low volume sideways movement after an immediate crash, Due to the fact that we're still low, we may see a small retracement upwards. That is still a possibility. It gives me some, we're extremely oversold. I don't think we're going to fall much lower. I really don't. And it's weird too, because this little thing in the back of my head says there's a chance we could fall down to 7,200. I'd say there's about a 70% chance we break bullish and retest the first Fibonacci level. But I also think there's about a 30% chance we could fall and break lower to the bottom and retest the top of the high-low MMA. But due to the fact that we're extremely oversold on both the daily charts on all the cryptos, it makes me believe short term we may see this small retracement upwards, and then we're going to continue to go bearish down into the top of the high-low MMA. That's pretty much where my head's at right now. Let's add the Fibonacci to here, get some more indicators on here, make it a little easier for you guys to read as we have more things to follow. Fibonacci also holds very nicely on Ethereum's daily. Let's see the weekly. Weekly, we're extremely bearish. We're very low below it. There's a lot of things that these coins should move up to the upside, but because of Bitcoin kind of being the ultimate leader and it breaking bearish, we're going to have to follow Bitcoin first before we see any sort of immediate, reflex into the other cryptos. As for XLM looked great bouncing off this downtrend. Absolutely beautiful. But I would like to switch things up. I just randomly had this thought to look at Digibyte to, let's see, USD. Or let's do Digibyte to BTC. I like using USD, but don't mind using BTC. We'll pull up Digibyte to BTC right here. Let's try this. Yeah, we'll use this for now, and then we'll probably graph this tomorrow. I don't want today's episode to be too long, and then we'll go into some more specifics. I'm already seeing some very odd chartings, but I don't want to spoil anything. So if you're interested in Digibyte, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, wow, very odd graph, but if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications. We're trying to get 12,000 subscribers, guys, so please definitely make sure to smash that subscribe button. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.